up traders, what up investors, thank you for tuning in for another fantastic video. So we did a video about a week ago. So ARK Investment and Cathie Wood sent out like a weekly update on some of their positions, talking about some large accomplishments, some things that could be planting red flags, all kinds of things, but they call it as commentary discussing some of the ARK investments. Today there's only a couple handful. Last week there was like 20 stocks. There's only about 7 or 8 here, so we're going to be going through them. We can go along and read to the email and really identifying these various key segments. So let's just kind of pull in here real quick here. Let me pull it up for y'alls. Go here. Nice. Okay. Go to this screen. So now you're able to see basically the ARK Invest commentary email. Of course, there we're going to talk about some Bitcoin. We got a lot of, especially with 3D printing companies. Again, we only have actually 6 on this week, so we're going to be jumping into what ARK is saying, and then looking at the chart and kind of looking at the comparison between that. So kind of give you a formality of ARK's thesis, and then looking at what I think I do best is looking at the charts. So that's definitely what we're going to be looking at that. So before we go into anything else, I want to be talking about 2 things. We want to look at, again, Tastyworks is what I use for trading. There's an affiliate link down below. And if you create an account and open a brand new account unfunded of $2,000, you're able to get 10 options or 100 shares of stock on opening of your account. That's substantially better than the other firms that I've seen run this particular kind of specials there. And also on that note, we have the Amazon storefront down there. If you're interested in looking at some of the books that I'm looking at reading about charting, options, investing, and just overall business sense, definitely check out. Again, the one that I actually just started to read again, it's actually on the list, is let me pull up on the big screen, is How to Make Money in Stocks. And this is from William O'Neill. This is the guy, the founder of Investor Business Daily or investor.com. Great book. It talks about everything from technicals to understanding charts. It's a fantastic book, and if you're interested in just new or even advanced in understanding stocks and charts, it's still definitely a very good read, and it's more or less like a reference book as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into the fun stuff that we have planned here. Looking at, of course, first we're going to be looking at Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So this is going to be the fund that if you're not able to trade Bitcoin via, like, let's say, Coinbase or something relatively around those lines, or you're not able to officially really trade the futures in it, you can use this particular trust to trade Bitcoin. It basically matches it with it, not on the cost basis, but on the percentage basis gains. So without that going forth, let's go ahead and just flip over to the charts here. Here we go. Looking at the chart here, it's GBTC. Of course, we've seen Bitcoin run up quite a bit here in the last really just 2 months, really into December, having that somewhat of a pullback and then just rocketing higher, really hitting those really high prices. Because as of right now, the Bitcoin futures are up nearly 3.5%. So if that holds, we could excuse me, potentially see this up to around the $37 to potentially $40 coming in tomorrow. Again, it trades in comparison to Bitcoin, again, at a much cheaper price. That being said, it's been holding the 5 and 8 moving average for quite some time, and if it does pull back, we're going to be looking for some support around the 21 EMA. All right, so the next one is going to be EDIT, and this company went down this week due to the fact of the overall FDA is requiring a little bit more protocol on using their improving the little thimble thing, the assay thing for taking out from one tube to another, and that problem indicating on those levels there. They needed a little bit more understanding before they can have the trials continue. So we did get a little bit of pullback. There was a 15% pullback on Monday here, really coming in quite sharply into the beginning of the week here. It has kind of slightly bounced off the 21 EMA here, a little bit consolidation here. The support would be potentially around $72 here. So that's we're going to be looking at around 72, even down to 71 would be some initial support. But this thing has a huge rocket ship. With most pharmaceutical companies, there's usually one large catalyst that drives it higher, and then that could potentially move it higher, or that can really pull it back to the fact of what we're seeing here. Maybe it's not a crazy thing that the FDA is saying that they are not approving or they have to stop trials or anything like that. That just like hold up, like, let's make sure we're doing this right. Let's just look at the study as a whole, and let's kind of improve this before we continue with the full study. Next one is going to be LendingTree, which is ticker symbol TREE. This stock has been a little choppy here. So LendingTree saw a pretty large gain. You can kind of see here on Tuesday due to the fact of a larger move higher due to the fact of its, again, mortgages. A lot more people are refinancing due to low interest rates, and there's a lot of revenue coming from that to the company. Of course, with that huge little boost higher, the stock, let's be honest here, has been very choppy here. And initially looking at it, pulling it here on the weekly side, it's kind of been very choppy. Again, this is a couple $100 stock, and we are having a little bit of issues trying to get above the $338 range, which we've seen kind of bounce off a couple times here. So this is something to be kind of to be somewhat mindful of, seeing on how this one plays out. With this very large move higher, we did kind of come out of the base here, kind of holding around the $264 to $265 level, and really kind of printing higher here. So that's always pretty good news on that. With some short-dated support coming into around 300 to 294. I know a little bit of wide ranges that kind of comes in between the 8 and 5 EMA on the daily chart here. Again, with the targets initially in the short term, potentially trying to hit 340 to the upside, and with those targets going forth there. The next one, it doesn't have to have probably any kind of introduction, is Nano Dimension. This is ticker symbol NNDM, one of the ARK favorites, and the one I see posted quite a bit about and asked a lot about during the live streams. This thing has rose 21% on Wednesday after a pricing of a secondary offer, and the 3D printing company on Tuesday announced it has granted as a new patent for a ridge-flexed printed circuit board fabrication using inkjet printing. So say that 10 times real fast with that movement. So of course, NNDM has been a position myself, my portfolio, for a little bit. We are seeing that continuous movement, holding that 21 EMA, continue to grind higher here. We do, again, that Wednesday, guess what? It went right up to that Fibonacci number at 1142, gave it a kiss, and came right back down, and now just kind of still trading. The trend is still higher. As you can see, the 21 EMA is still pointing to the upward right-hand side of the chart, so that's always good if you're a bull, not a bear. With that, again, looking for 1142 to kind of close above that. We do have some longer data targets to around $16 to $18 if this trend can continue on its really aggressive potential moves here. We have seen pullbacks, and pullbacks are sometimes aggressive in these very heavy growth names. We have some short-term support coming in around $9.80, and then potentially even down to $8.95, with substantial stronger support coming in at basically $8 even, which kind of falls in with the 34 EMA. Next one is SSYS. Again, this is also another 3D printing company with getting a lot of love, and really seeing the 3D printing space, especially on the enterprise and commercial size, getting pretty far ramped up in the fact of the pandemic getting not getting over it, but it's like restrictions are being lifted. People are able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, potentially with the vaccines, and really getting the understanding of the virus and so forth. But this is thing, again, suggesting a lot more. Again, what this is from ARK, saying that they are seeing this would be reporting an upside saw a 16% increase on Thursday after announcing it would be reporting an upside surprise in the fourth revenue earnings, suggesting that the 3D printing space is gaining traction and recovering from the crisis that we have just seen. However, during the presentation at the conference, they announced that they expect to report a sequence of revenue growth over the fourth quarter. Management emphasized that the pandemic has created a supply chain vulnerabilities within the 3D printing space. So basically, reporting as a upside surprise, meaning the top line numbers could be good, but the bottom line numbers cannot, because again, the margins could have increased, but their sales could have gone down due to the fact of, again, not many people are buying 3D printers right now, especially on the commercial side, because again, a lot of factories have been somewhat stopped and are still really on the back end of trying to get manufacturing back up and running here. With this one being said, this has been a fantastic looking chart here. Build somewhat of a base here, getting a shot higher here. Been holding the 5 and 8 moving averages pretty aggressively here, and this chart looks a little bit better than NNDM. This still kind of the same kind of move here to the upward right hand side, but this chart looks very aggressive without a doubt. And last but not least, we have AVAV. Of course, this is a company within the military defense. They said they okay, so I say Aero Environmental Mole, but that 30% on Thursday after announcing an agreement to acquire UAV, a leader in military unmanned aircraft systems. We believe the stock has been impacted by ARC 582 filing with the SEC. So this again, huge news bump again, just having this huge gap up and continue to rise higher. With a lot of ARC stocks, especially on the longer term stuff, it's continue going higher. So with them acquiring this kind of company, this again could potentially be a great movement, because again, sometimes when you hear a company acquiring one company or vice versa, the stock gets pretty much hit. So we can look at UAV as well, and that's not a company. Artis AUV. Yeah, anyways, so that is that. So, oh shoot, I misspelled that. So with that being said, here looking on the weekly side, it looks like we had an all-time high way back when, what is that, in 2018. Wow, okay, all the way up here around 118 to 120, which we have kind of seen somewhat reach that level, but we haven't really closed above that. So if we can kind of potentially build a flag here, build like a what the technical charts call it, a bear flag, or I'm sorry, a bull flag, which we kind of trade sideways in this range, kind of let the moving averages kind of catch up, create a cushion here to potentially build the base here, and maybe get that next step higher without that being said. So folks, thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on the way out the door. And again, I really appreciate you stopping by and watching the video. All right, peace.